So the old basketball goal we had in the pool rusted away after about a year and a half of use or so. We ordered a new one. We got it in. So I say we open it up and put it together. See how bad it is. See how good it is. Let's be positive. I believe this thing came from Amazon, if I'm not mistaken. Old Jeff Bezos. So let's get into it. We've had it here a few months. We were just going to kind of wait until the other one completely gave out, and it gave out. It fell apart. Got a backboard there. The other one we had was made of metal. Wasn't very thick metal, of course, because it rusted through pretty quick. I'm hoping this one might be maybe a plastic composite, or if it's metal, maybe it's thicker. We shall see. That metal seems to be decently thick. It's maybe a 1/16 of an inch thick. Let's see here. So it just says poolside basketball system. So I'm not really sure without going back through my Amazon account what brand or anything this is. I was hoping this manual might tell me so I could tell you what it was. All right, so that's all that's in the box, those few things there. Please read all warnings, so on and so forth. Let's get a chair. Let's start this thing off. First starts off identifying the parts and the hardware. Comes with everything you need, of course, like most things would. It says 2 adults required to complete assembly. I don't believe that. I am 1 adult. Close enough to an adult as I'm going to get. So let's see if 1 adult can put this thing together as opposed to the 2. Insert the wheel axle into wheel base and end of the bottom pole. There's some tape here. I've got my trusty razor knife out. Cut these things apart. So far, that's the only tool I've needed. Has been a razor knife. We'll see what else we need here in a minute. It's always nice to get your parts opened up and laid out so you can see what you got. Be careful using the razor knife when you're cutting this stuff. Of course, don't cut your damn self, but also you don't want to cut into this damn painted metal. That's where your rust is going to penetrate, because the paint there is, the paint is there to protect the metal. If you cut into it with this razor knife or you scrape it all on the ground a bunch, chances are the water is going to get that metal and it's going to rust it. So don't scratch up all of this shit right here. We have our net. We have our hoop and our net. We have our base, and it looks like the hardware is in the bottom of this bag with the base. Shake that out of there. This particular set comes with, looks like it comes with the tools that you need. It has a couple of wrenches in here. Damn, they just fell out the bag. Oh, there's a hole in the bag. Makes sense. Okay. All right, and we had this thing upside down. Okay. Turn it like this. So it says insert the wheel axle, which is piece I. I refer back to my parts identifier. I see piece I, which is this damn super thin piece of metal. It's like a flute. It's Rachmaninoff. So we're going to insert this through the base with some wheels. We got 2 wheels. And the end of the bottom pole, which is pole F. I like when manufacturers put the part numbers with a little sticker on the poles and things. Makes it easier. You don't have to keep referring back to this parts diagram, but I see what piece F is. It's going to be this thing right here. Instructions aren't great, but I'm going to assume that this piece up here at the top with the little nut welded to it is going to go, I'm going to assume that goes at the top. So we're going to set this thing in at the bottom like this. It'll sit there. Take a wheel, we'll slide it into this hole. And this little bitty pole, this rod at the bottom, goes through a couple of holes in the plastic, goes through the wheel, a couple holes in the plastic, goes through this metal pole, through another hole in the plastic, and then out this other side where the wheel is. And that's all you do there. I don't believe that gets secured or anything. It just sits there. That's kind of odd to me. I would hope there'd be some kind of cap on the end or something, but it doesn't look like. Okay. Doesn't look that way. What's next? Here's image 2, image 3. Fasten the lower struts H to the base G with bolt set F. So the lower struts are H. Let's see what H looks like. H are the larger curved pieces, which will be these guys. So we have 2 of those guys. We attach them to the base. Okay, so I see a hole here about middle ways up the base. So that makes sense. That's going to go there. That should go in here somehow. Yeah, and then it's going to attach to this pole here to make this thing a little more stable. So that is easy enough. With the bolt set F, let's see what the bolt set F looks like. I'm going to go ahead and pour these out. Pour them out right here on the flow. Okay. Okay, there's, and sometimes you'll have to organize these by the amount. What I mean by that is, like, if you can't really tell what these different bolts F and B and A, what they all look like, do it like this. It says I'm supposed to have 2 of the A's. So I'll find these 2. I only have 2 of them, so that has to be A. And then F, there's 2 F's. I've got these 2 things right here. That looks like F because they have the washer and the nut on them. And then I should have 4 of these things I'm calling B. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 of those things. B. I've got this one big one that they're saying is E. So that's what I mean by organizing them that way. So you have 2, 2, 4, and 1. Organize them with the similar looking bolts, the same bolts, and that way you can kind of tell. So now, since we know we only have 2 sets, meaning we have these 2 identical bolt sets, and then we have these 2 identical bolt sets. So now it's just a process of elimination between these 2, looking at the picture here. And I'm willing to bet that these are going to be F. So we're going to use these. That's the way you can kind of figure out these things sometimes. So these bolts are what you use to attach the base. It comes with a bolt, a locking nut, and 2 washers. It's not very specific in the instructions how to really do it. I'm going to assume there'll be a washer on each side of this bolt because we're bolting it to plastic. So what we can do now is take our bolt and 1 washer and come up from the bottom. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, come up from the bottom. Now, you'll notice on this, these things, these little bends at the bottom are different. So you'll just play with it for a second and find out which one works. If I stick it in that way, that don't work. If I spin it around, put it there and there, that doesn't work. So let's try this other one. If I put this end in, as you can see, this bend is going to bend perfectly to fit over the hole on this main back pole and get bolted in. So this is where this needs to go. So on the top side, I put another washer. I put a lock nut on top. And I'll screw that down. And then what you'll probably need to do is take these 2 wrenches . One side of the wrench is going to fit down here on this bolt underneath. The other side of the wrench is going to go up here. As you hold that bottom piece of that bolt, you're going to turn this one. And we're not going to turn this so tight to where we can't move this anymore because we have to move it to get it in place to line it up. I just want to tighten it up some where I don't have so much to do in a few minutes. So that's good enough for me. We'll do the same thing on this other side. So we have our bolt and nut set. We disassemble it. Leave 1 washer on that bolt. Again, go ahead and take this guy, figure out where it needs to go. It goes there, and then that way this end will go into that pole. So we come from underneath, stick it through, put our little support pole on, put our second washer, put our locking nut on, tighten it up with our hand till we can't no more. Grab these supplied wrenches, take 1 wrench underneath, lock it on, hold on to that one underneath while you spin the one on top. Spin it 6 or 7 times. Get it to where it just starts tightening up. Like that. That's all for that step. Oh, they don't call them steps, they call them images. So that was image 3. Image 4, it's kind of weird. Image 4 just shows it looking like this, which is pretty much what image 3 shows. So next is image 5. You want to fasten the lower struts, which are these pieces we just put on, to the bottom pole section F with bolt set E. Now bolt set E is the bolt set that is just the one. So we have just one lone bolt set here, 2 washers, bolt and nut. That is what we're going to use to attach these 2 support pieces to the pole. So same way we did the bottom, take your bolt, take 1 washer, we're gonna slide it through. Either side, I don't believe it matters. Hell, I know it doesn't matter. Slide it through one side, just like that. Make sure both of your support pieces are on. Next, take the supplied washer, put it on your bolt, take your locking nut, screw it on there, a couple of threads, get it started. And then we're gonna go ahead and hold on to one side while we spin the other. Oh, Jesus. There we go. And then we're gonna spin it. Now, since this is all to this part of the assembly, I am gonna go ahead and tighten this down all the way. And then I'll tighten the 2 bolts here at the bottom holding these side supports up. I'm gonna make sure I tighten this down pretty good since our kids are kind of rough. They're hella rough. So let's keep tightening this thing down. There we go. So now I'm gonna come back to the bottom. Do the same thing we did a few minutes ago, only this time we're gonna crank it down all the way. So that one's crunked down. Spin it around. Spin around, go to town. Let's spin it this way. Oh yeah, feels good. What's next? Next, on image 6, they want us to fasten the rim and top pole section simultaneously to the bottom backboard using bolt set A. So we need to get the rim, the this, the that, this guy. So let's do that. Let's see, we have the rim here. We also need our backboard, still covered in plastic. Let's get this off of here. This might be where the 2 adults come in at, but I still think we can handle it. Because this is going to go like this. Then you're going to have a backboard. Hell, I'm gonna use this thing maybe. Prop this up. Put this underneath here. And then this piece will go like this. And it gets bolted together. And there's 4 holes, so these are the 4 bolts that we're going to use. So yeah, this will be fine. You don't need 2 people for this. So they're showing on the image that the bolt thing goes through the back. So we'll start the bolt through the back. Once you get one of these started, maybe 2, it'll be fine. It'll sit up like it's supposed to. I'm trying to get comfortable here. Make sure y'all can see that. Hang on. So same thing we've been doing, bolt and a washer. Stick it up to the back side of this middle backboard piece. Go through the plastic backboard. Then you need to go through the hoop, throw in another washer, take your lock nut and tighten it down a little bit. Again, not all the way, just get it finger tight, it'll hold in place. Now I'm going to go to the opposite side here, across from the one we just put in. And I'm going to try to work this thing on in. Just using my hands, just using my sense of feel, not really the sense of sight, taste, or touch. Screw that one on just a little bit. And that one's on there. Go to the next one. 2 more holes to go. Slide that one through. The more of these that you get on, the easier the next one is, because all your holes are going to start lining up. Screw him on. Take off the last one. Take our supplied wrenches, hold a side, tighten the side down. And these are going to be a little bit of a pain because you cannot spin these that much. You can't spin them all the way around. There's stuff like this hoop keeping you from spinning them. So if you have your own tools, which I do, but I'm just going to assemble this using their tools, but a ratchet and a socket set would work much better than these little wrenches. Much faster, much easier. But we'll still get it done. This first one's about done, and don't worry, I'm going to skip through this in the video. Have a good time. You're welcome. I'm going to save you the agony of watching me tighten all of these up. So I'm going to go ahead and edit, skip ahead, and we'll come back when I'm done with all of these. After you have them all tightened down, go back and start rechecking them. Because sure enough, when you tighten one side down, it may loosen up the other side. Happens most of the time. It happened in this case. So even though these first 2 or 3 that I put in seem pretty damn tight, when I tighten the last one, these are now loose. So I tighten them up. again. And you'll go through and do that a couple of times. You don't want your rim to fall off. So make sure you get these things tight. You may have to go through and do this a couple of times. Just keep doing it until everything's tight and they don't loosen up no more. I think we're about there, because this one wasn't very loose on this other side. All right, that looks good to me. That by far was the longest step we've had, but it still wasn't terrible. Now, once that's done, we go to image 7. Fasten 2 backboard brackets to the backboard. With bolt set A, fasten 2 backboard brackets. So it's going to be these other 2 little pipes that we have. So let's see what they're really wanting us to do here. So these are the backboard brackets, these 2 things here. Fasten them to the backboard. So this is the backboard. I see up here. And it gets mounted some damn where. With bolt set A. Bolt set A are going to be these last 2 bolts that we have. So it's going to go here. I'm a little bit confused on where the other side of this goes. Surely they didn't want it to go there, because that ain't what they said a few minutes ago. Oh yeah, maybe they did. Yeah, I think I made a mistake. Oh, it happens. So I'm pretty sure the mistake that I made, which again, these instructions are not very clear, but I should have thought about this first. But these 2 pieces here that attach at the top of this and go down here, these top 2 bolts of the backboard, they're supposed to also go through the hole on this. My bad. So now I've got to take those top 2 bolts off. No big deal. We'll take it off. We'll redo it. I don't mind. So we'll take it off the same way we put it on. So we'll undo these top two and we'll attach these backboard braces. Why does that feel like it's still down turning? So once you get that off, just slide this piece in between the top washer on the back side of this backboard, and then go from underneath, put another washer, put that locking nut on there, tighten it back down a little bit. Don't cinch it down because we also have to attach a bolt up here at the top. And if you cinch this down, that won't line up correctly up at the top. Just keep it a little loose. I'll do the same thing to this other side. I'll take this one off and we'll put a new one on. Or we'll put a, do the same thing to this side. Take this bolt off, add the backboard brace, and then tighten this back down. All right, there we are. That one's off. So I'll pull this bolt here, this other bolt on the top. I'll pull it out. Keep the washer on the bolt. Take the backboard support, place it over that hole. Slide our washer and bolt through the backboard support, through the backboard itself, and through the goal. Bottom side, we have a washer that goes back on, and we have our nylon lock nut that goes back on. Tighten it up with your fingers, and then start the process of getting this one tight again. Not all the way tight, just close. Now that those two are pretty close to being tightened all the way, get your wrenches off of here. Now we can move on to these last two bolts. Put a washer down. Now these bolts don't have a nut on the back side. They simply screw into a threaded piece on the inside of this plastic backboard. You have to hold that little piece down for a second with your left hand. Tighten it up by hand. Don't cross thread it. Get it in there nice and easy. And then you can tighten this one down. Let's do the other side, and then we'll come back down here to these bottom four, and we'll make sure that they're all tight as well. So hold this backboard support rod down with your left hand. Tighten it with your right, or vice versa if you're left-handed. If you're a freak and you're left-handed, you can do it the other way. That feels good there. So now we'll go back down here, especially to these upper two that we just put back on because we left those a little loose. Let's tighten those down. That feels pretty good. Same thing on the other side. All right, that feels pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit these bottom two one more time, since we were jacking around with the upper ones. Okay, that backboard is now on. Let's check out and see what our next step is. Now they're saying to install the net. I'll do the net in a minute. I can do that piece last. I'm going to skip that, make an executive decision. Now we're going to go to slide the top pole section with the completely assembled top into the bottom pole with base until you reach the centered position. Poles must be inserted into each other at least 11 centimeter. All right, whatever, centimeters. So when you put this on, this back part is where you have the sand and water fill hole. Then you have where you can put your ball. Let's see how they want this. How they want this thing put in. So they want it put in this way. Here. Slide it in. And then when you put all your water and stuff back here, if we use water, you can use sand, but hell, out here by the pool, we're just going to use water. And they did state it will tip over, so check that out. If you put this in place without any water or sand back here, it's going to tip over. So put something, if you're working on this by yourself, which I am, put something on that base that's a little bit heavy to hold that base down, which I just use that chair. Last couple pieces that we have other than the net, we have these two pieces here. So with those two pieces, let me raise you up here. So with these two pieces, we're going to unscrew the ones that are screwed together, that go together in a little set. And that's what we're going to use. Get my damn chair out of the way. That's what we're going to use to go through these two holes on the side of this bottom pole into the top pole. So it has two different height adjustments. You know, one's kind of high, one's kind of low. Put it wherever the hell you want it. I'm going to set mine a little bit high. Slide one side through, the side with the little bolt through. Then tighten those down. Then on this very back side, they have a nut that's welded to this bottom base pole. Take this one little screw handle that you have left, screw it in here. That's just another little piece that's going to go through there and tighten down on top. Excuse me. That's another little piece that's going to go down and tighten up on this top piece. Now all that's left is to add some water or sand into our base and also to attach our net. The net is always tricky to me. It has been. I think I got the hang of it now. I've done enough of these. We have a couple of basketball goals out there, and the nets don't last very long, so I'm having to redo nets a good bit. So I think I've kind of got this down. Let's see. Let's see if I do. Oh, they give you two nets in this package. How sweet. So we'll have an extra net when this one tears up in a week. So undo our two nets. Put one to the side for safekeeping. Take your one off. Based on the way this looks, I really don't know if it should be white first. No, surely it's going to be blue first. So the blue side isn't as long as the white side, as you can see, lengthwise. So I'm going to say the blue goes in first. What I'll do is I'll take one, slide it up through the back. Wrap it around the sides. See, that doesn't fucking look right. These are always weird. Maybe I go through the front. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So let me zoom in here. Show you one.
So take a part of your net. Doesn't matter where you start. This is a circle. Start wherever with whatever piece of net. Just don't skip any. You know, we did one here. Now we're going to this next one. So go through the front or the inside of this. Make your little loop. Stick it through the inside of your goal. When you come through the inside, take the right hand side, go in between that little curly Q, take your left hand side, go inside that little curly Q, take this back piece, this little bottom piece that you got, push it up over the bottom piece of the goal and pull it. And you've got that. That's the way that's going to work. In through the front, side, side, your bottom goes through the bottom, and then that's done. And now we just do that all the way around, not skipping any. This thing is getting kind of tight. Seems like I might have skipped one, but I didn't. Strange. Some of that damn Chinese shit. Okay. I'm dumb. I thought this blue part goes on first. But now I think I'm wrong. Looking at the other basketball goals that we have out there. They are the other way. And this wasn't going on great. So I'm going to say that I was wrong in what I told you. It's okay to be wrong. Now I got to get this crap off of here. And that may be a pain in the butt. So this white part, this long part goes in first. I should have known better. Why didn't I know better? I don't know. But that's life, man. That's how this shit works. Things are not always as easy as they may seem. It's hot as a mug out here too. August the 2nd is today's date. It's about 88 degrees out here at 10 a.m. But that's okay. We're going to take all these off. So this is good. I can show you how to take these off as well. Taking them off is kind of the same way as putting them on. From the inside of this rim, grab that middle piece, pull your middle piece down, go back behind that little bottom piece, come up, and it'll come off. So your middle piece goes down, comes up, your two pieces come out. This is real life, man. This is what happens. Everything isn't perfect. People don't get things on the first try. They may edit their videos out to make it look like they get things on the first try. I try not to do that. I try to keep it real. I'll tell you when I make a mistake. Tell you when I mess things up. When things don't go the way I think they're going to go. And again, that's part of what this channel is for. If I make a mistake, I want people to learn from my mistake. I want y'all to do better than me. I want us all to learn and to grow, help each other out, be better people, all that stuff. Now we'll see if this gets us anywhere. We're putting the white part on the same way we were doing the blue. Where from the inside, we slide in the middle, we wrap down around that bottom piece, we pull our two side pieces up in the middle, down the bottom piece, take our two sides, slide them around. The hell just happened there as I'm talking to y'all? I didn't do something right. There we go. This feels much better putting it on this way. When I was using the blue towards the end, it was getting super tight and it looked like I had missed one, which wasn't the case. I just had the wrong side. Thought I was right in what I was doing, but I was wrong. Now, that looks correct. Now that is on there. Now the next step is to fill up the bottom with some water. So I'm going to grab a water hose. Have a cap right here, a little plastic cap. Pull that plastic cap off. Keep your chair or your weight or whatever you have on that basketball goal while you do this, so it won't tip over on you. And we're going to fill this thing up. If you have trouble moving heavy objects, go ahead and move this goal where you're going to have it, by the pool or in the yard or whatever you're using this for. Move it to where you're going to have it before you fill it up so it's not heavy. It does have wheels on the front where you can tip it down and move it, and I'll show you how I move it. But set it up if you don't want to move this thing full of water. Set it up where you want it, then fill it up with water. Me, I don't care. I can move it. It's not a big deal. And we're going to fill this up until it's completely full and then put our cap back on. Once water starts coming out of the top, that means you're full.
Take our plastic cap, put it back on. I'm gonna turn my water hose off. We're gonna move it over there to the pool, which is where the other one was. So I'll show you how we move it. Get my chair out of the way. It should stand up on its own now with all that water weight. And then there's wheels on the front, so you can just take this thing. One thing I forgot, there's a little note here that says, please remove this protective film. I don't know that I'm even going to do that. That's a step I'm not worried about. So anyway, pull it down towards you. Grab a hold of the backboard. Once the wheels touch, this is really easy to move. This is not bad. And you just roll it. Roll it where you want to go. We're going to put it in the same spot we had our other one. And this one looks just like the other one we had. So it may last this season, maybe one more season. But these things aren't really built to last. Not from my experience anyway. Well, there we go. We have that thing in position. And that's it. Putting together a little pool basketball net. Hoop set, whatever you want to call it. This one didn't come with a basketball. I think the other one we got came with a couple little basketballs, but we still have those, so we're good. That's it. Till next time.